Hi everybody, I'm going to get started right now. I just want to give it a minute just to let the rest of the people come in here, and then we'll get rolling. Okay, so just want to touch base here before we get going. The obviously second week of January is just getting started here. Trading's still a little bit slow. We're still sort of getting back into the holiday or out of the holiday trading hours, and real money starting to come back online here pretty soon. So we're just this week there's going to be a couple of things going on this week, but I believe we'll still be able to get a couple of trades out of this week, regardless of what happens. And today I'm just going to kind of run through just a couple of them, have a bit of a look at some levels here that we had discussed from last Thursday there that I had outlined, and see what we've got in store for this week. And we'll probably focus more directly today on we'll have a look at the Euro-Usd. We'll have a look at the cable, or pound USD, and a little bit about this US CAD pair as well too, because I think it's at an interesting level here. We'll see what happens on this guy here, and then I do want to talk a little bit about some commodities. In particular, I believe it was the cocoa trade that I had identified last week, that I wanted to discuss as well. And oh, look what it did. I'll come back to this one, and then a little bit of Bitcoin as well too, while we're at it. So I'm just going to get started, and hopefully we can muster out a little trade here. I'm not going to be going for too long this evening. I'm going to try and cap this here to about an hour, and then call it an evening. And hopefully we can set up a couple of limit orders, and we'll watch those develop into the New York session, watch those play out, and go from there. So anyway, as always, we'll start with the US dollar index. Actually, what I do want to do real quick here is I just actually want to start with a little bit of just review the news for the week. It's a pretty slow week in terms of news, and I'm just going to show you that here real quick. I'll just bring this window in here so you can see. This is this week for trading. There was a little bit of news yesterday on the Canadian dollar, the Bank of Canada Business Outlook survey. I just want to go into here real quick and just look. And really, you can kind of see here, this was probably right when that news item took place. Let's just actually double check that. At 10:30 a.m. Yeah, that's exactly when that spike happened. So you can kind of see here, it's really muted with this holiday. Again, it's most of the big money sort of comes back online second or third week into January, and you can kind of see that here. It's just been going straight sideways. We had a fairly major news event here, and typically the market will rally or decline quite significantly with these news events, but you can see that really nothing much has happened here. With that, you can see the news spike right here, and then it just sort of went sideways. But just going back to this, it's fairly muted for the week. There's some stuff in the pound this morning, in about 4.5 hours from now. Manufacturing production and some good trades balance that we may see some movement here. U.S. crude oil inventories, of course, coming out as always every Wednesday, 10:30 a.m. So it'll be later on, And we got some PPI on Thursday here. And then Friday, there's some major news coming out on this Friday here for the US dollar. So trading could be a little muted again for the week, barring a couple of items here and there. We might get some bounce in on Thursday. And you can actually, I just noticed that here, Tuesday is completely void of news. For some reason. That's usually not the case there, but according to Forex Factory, it's telling us that there is absolutely nothing happening. There's no economic news coming out whatsoever for today, so that's interesting, Tuesday, January 9th. But we'll see how that plays out again, and then some Wednesday there could be something looking into the pound dollar. Let's flip over here, and this has just been trading pretty much straight sideways since the week opened. You can see the week opened here. This is Sunday's trading right here, Monday's trading, and then we're here right now on Tuesday. The price kind of been consolidating. It's just sort of been chopping sideways. You can see here since last week. Friday, yeah, this is where the week opened. January 3rd. And you can see here price just sort of declined, and then it's just been going straight sideways, created a double bottom right here, and it's actually trading in a nice little consolidated area. So what I'm kind of thinking with this guy here is that we could see a bit of consolidation, and we could see a bit of a pop on this guy. So if we go back to that news for a quick second, we can see there's two fairly decent news events coming out tomorrow at 4:30 a.m. for the pound dollar, and we could get a little bit of movement on that one, so we might be looking for a signal tomorrow. So for everybody who hasn't subscribed to our website yet, I'll just throw that up here right now so you can navigate over to that and check that one out. You can go to f45trading.com, and I'll just leave that down here, and you can jump on there and you can sign up for free, and you can check out our signals. Excuse me, our free signals. We offer a free 30-day package where you can log in, check it all out, all of our free signals, and hopefully you'll get some value out of that, and then you can decide to continue after those 30 days if you'd like to, or no cost to you and cancel. So it costs you absolutely nothing to go over and check it out. Send out signals daily. Again, we're just getting started for the month of January after the holiday trading, so it will be a little bit slow this week. We'll have a couple signals, so probably we'll look and see if we can find something this morning for London Open trading, and but more than likely a lot of the trades will be coming out either tomorrow or the next day, so watch for those. And again, with those couple economic drivers coming through here for Thursday, tomorrow, and then Friday, we could get a little bit of action on Friday here. There's quite a few significant events on Friday, so let's just navigate over to the US dollar, and we'll start there and we'll work our way out. So you can see dollars come down after the slide, and it's starting to look like it's pushing up a little bit. I'd be fairly interested in a couple of areas, one being this gap up here. Now this could just be a gap in my feed here. If you look, so this is Forex LTD. I explained this a little bit in the live session last week. If you have a gap in your feed like this, it's always good to confirm this with another trading platform. So I use a demo account on Forex LTD for all of my trading and everything that we show you here. I also use another demo account on something called Vantage FX, which is another a broker out of Australia, and I've actually got some live stuff with these guys as well too, some real money with these guys, and you can see the US dollar index. Oops, that's the CAD. Scroll over here and click on there, and you can see here that gap doesn't really exist here. So that gap level is at, let's just see here, that gap is at 93.30 to 93.09. That's the high of this candle here. This candle comes in at 93.09. So you can see the gap is there. Now I've noticed the two different brokers are off just slightly by about 4 or 5 pips respectively, give or take. So if you look here, you can see 93.30 is all the way up here, and 93.09 is down here. So you can see, come on you, so you can see that that gap does not exist on this time frame, and that was for what day? The 22nd and the 27th of December. And I'll just confirm that. The 22nd. No, so it's over here. And 23rd. See, this one doesn't even have the 23rd of December. But you can see price was very, very illiquid right here, creating a bit of a void in this area here. So prices are skewed a little bit coming into that holiday trading, as you can see. So you definitely want to confirm that, that all the levels that you're looking at are the same, plus or minus a few pips. And you can see here it's a little bit off on these two feeds. So it's always nice to confirm what you're looking at with the specific broker that you're using. So I'm just going to identify this low over here as well too, because we're coming up on that. Low on that guy is 92.50. And let's get this nice and even here. 92.50 right there. So we've got a couple interesting levels that I'm watching here. Mainly it's going to be this resistance level in here that I'm going to be looking at. You can see here price, there's a fairly big zone right in here in terms of supply and demand. I'm just going to change this color here so it sticks out a little bit better. Go from pink to, let's say, a light blue, aqua. Ooh, that's a terrible color. Change that one more time. Let's just do something a little less intrusive. There we go. So you can see here, we've got a real strong support and resistance zone in here. So there's a lot of activity coming in this level. Price came down, reacted off that level here, traded up, traded through it, came back up to this level, rejected, traded back down, came up, passed through it. Came back down again, rejected, traded back up, back down into it, rejected, back up, went through the level, and now we're trading back up to that level again. Excuse me. Sorry if everyone have been having a bit of a cough here since the weekend. Apologize. Let me just get a sip of water. Talking for hours on end as well too doesn't help anything. So yeah, we've had a bit of a zone right in this area here that that is very interesting to me. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Had a bit of a coughing fit there. Yeah, so as I was saying, this level in here, it's a significant area, and so we could see price it's going to do one of two things, obviously, and we all know this. It's going to trade right through it, or it's going to bounce off of it and continue lower. Now, I've identified a couple of areas, a big area down here under price, the current price structure that we could trade to, that there's going to be a real significant draw in liquidity. Or we could go straight back through here, and in which case these levels right above here are going to be taken out. Right up here, I'll just change this here as well too. That would be kind of the target level that I'd be looking at. So if we do get a bounce and it's going to go lower, it'll come up into this area right in here, and it'll start bouncing lower. If not, and again, we could see this on Friday with all of that news coming out on Friday right here, and maybe even into Thursday. Price could want to just come, that could be the driver that it's looking for. So what it could do today is just chop sideways, hits the news events Thursday, Friday, boom, pop up, and then continue to roll lower. again, and it could even pop up to this level up here. I've identified a couple of levels, one there and one up here where price could want to trade to. These are where the draws are going to be. This would be fairly significant if it came all the way up here. If that was the case, we could be looking at a price structure break. So you can see here again, the trend has been a downward trend here. It's been, the US dollar index has been quite bearish. So just depending on what price wants to do here, I believe we're going to continue that bearish sentiment. And to be honest with you, unless we broke this level up here, this 95.50 level, and got trading up into here, then we might be looking at changing our tone and our stance on this to from bearish to bullish. But for now, we're going to continue and assume this is going to be very bearish and look for shorts on this. Now again, I mentioned before, we don't actually trade the US dollar index. We look for confluence with this with other commodities that we trade that have the US dollar in the basket, so we can flip over to those. So as soon as we can get our directional bias on this, which is bearish, short term I think we could be bullish again. We could be wanting to drive up into here just to take out some stops and soak up some liquidity before dumping lower again. But we'll look and then see price roll over from there. So we won't really know that until the week pans out. And again, it's Tuesday trading. Typically Tuesday, either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, you'll create the high of the week, and then we'll start to roll over from there, if that's going to happen, or the low of the week. You know, in sorry, it's either going to create the high of the week or the low of the week. And then price is going to continue the exact opposite direction from there. So we'll wait and see what happens with the US dollar index. But like I say, I just wanted to cover a couple of levels for you to look at. This zone up here, again, it doesn't really exist. So I'm just going to actually pop this out here. It's not lining up in the same, again, as I say, with this data feed here. So again, we are seeing a bit of a bullish breakout here. We could see price trade up to this level in here. Again, that resistance zone, this same zone that I have marked out between these two levels right here, 9,300 and 9,240. Price could want to trade up into there and then start rolling over again from there. So we'll watch for that. US dollar, or sorry, the Euro-Usd. This is what I outlined for last week. So this was last Thursday. You can see here Tuesday, Monday, Friday, and excuse me, Thursday's trading. This was Thursday morning. Price ran up, did end up running up from there, grabbed some liquidity above this old high over here, and then now it's starting to roll over. So I did call it down to this 1960 level. So we could start seeing higher prices from there. There is another level that I've identified here where we could be trading down to, and it is the 118.80 area. So this level right in, this level right in here, we could see price coming down into as well too. So we'll be mindful of that. Price may want to come down all the way down here and then continue higher. Again, this is going to do the exact opposite of what the US dollar index is going to do. So if we want to see short-term bullishness on this for the rest of the week, and then it start to roll over at the end of the week with the news, the Euro-USD is then going to come down and then start to see bullishness at the end of the week with that news. And it looks like it's playing out to script here right now. Price came perfectly down to this level here that I identified last Thursday, and now we're going to wait and see. We do have a little bit of an area down here, as I say, at 118.80 that I'm very interested in price going down to. So about 80 pips lower than what we are right now. So I don't think I'll be putting a trade out on this right now. And again, I don't think there were any economic drivers. There's one small one, the ECB monetary policy. It's a medium impact news event on Thursday, but nothing up in between now and Thursday. So I'm kind of looking at, I'll just switch back over to this guy here. I'm kind of looking at this as we may continue just to see this thing drop from here, and again, just coming in right into this area right in here. And you can see here, this is a major zone right in here. That price is currently at. I'm just going to, there we go, a little less intrusive. I'll zoom out a little bit here for you. You can see this is a big area. I mean, even right back into here, again, prices come up, rejected off this level, and we're talking specifics. That 1880 level basically is, and I'll just put a line in on that so we can see what we're talking about. 1880 to 1890, I'd say. I like 1880. Get on there, come on, you. All right, hang on. Let's just do this. Okay, so I'll just run through this quick here. You can see price traded up, and don't mind the wicks or anything like that right now, but the bodies of the candles, you can see traded perfectly up to 118.80, dropped back, consolidated, pushed through that level, came right back down to it here, pushed back up, and then just traded, bounced off of these levels here, this 120.90 level and 118.80 level for about 2-3 weeks in here. Traded back through it, straight back up, and look at the wick of this candle, just touched absolutely perfectly on that 1880. Well, I missed it by 1 pip, but close enough. And then price traded back off again, fell down under the market, grabbed some liquidity up, traded straight back up through it, and then again meandered right around that 1880 level again for another, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 2 weeks, 2 trading weeks basically. Dropped back down, grabbed some more liquidity, and has now ran back up through there. And now I would bet to say that it would come right back down to that 118.80 level again, and we could be looking for a buy signal off of there. So it's about, like I say, about 87 pips lower than that right now. So we are expecting higher prices on the euro. As you can see here, we are in a nice bullish uptrend on this currency. So we do want to see continuation of that, and I've marked out a few levels in here as well too that could be of some interest. Let's get rid of, I don't know why these things come in here like this every now and then, but they do. For some reason those get saved into the profile. But you can see here, we've got some levels that are very interesting above the current market price level at 122.98. So we'll see what happens there, but I do believe we will see price push through there. Now we could see some consolidation for the next little while as well too. Price could just meander in right around this 120.90 level and 118.80 level for the next month. Who knows? But ultimately, I believe we will see these levels and much higher as well too. So I think that that's what we're going to see with this pair. So we'll watch and see what this happens. I don't believe we'll be taking any trades on this one today. Again, just because of the fact there's really nothing happening today. There's really no economic drivers or anything like that that's going to push the price around, so no volatility. So I don't think we're going to get a lot of action other than just probably a continued slide on this. So it's kind of one of those things. You could do one of two things. If you want to do a short-term trade, you could certainly sell the market to here and look for prices to come down into this level down here, into the 118.80 level. I would use a very short stop on this. I wouldn't want to see price go any higher than basically right here, 1.200 level, bang on. If price got up to there and wanted to trade through that, I would kill that trade because it doesn't want to go any lower. It's just going to go up, and it's probably going to take out this high, or again just chop straight sideways. And you don't want to be in a sideways trending market because it does have a tendency to chop you up. So I would look, again, if you wanted to, you could do this short term and take a small trade here, very short stop here, this being your target, 118.80, and then and kill the trade there and look for longs down here, or just wait for price to trade down, pick up a long, and then our target is going to be obviously up here. This is going to be our first target. Price coming up at these levels here. So we'll see how that plans out. Again, don't think I'm going to do anything on this one this evening, because we could just see price go straight sideways. The next one I want to look at here is the pound dollar. And I'll just slide this down here. Just a reminder, that's our website. You can go there, sign up, 30 days free, check out all of our free signals. And we'll just look at a couple of levels in here as well too. So this again is should be trading in correlation with the US dollar index. This is going down. The pound dollar should be going up, and I identified last week a bunch of levels higher in the market here that I think we could be reaching for. I'm not going to go through that too much today because that's a long-term outlook. But again, the same thing with the Euro-Usd. We could see a bit of a decline into here, down to this 133.75, 133.80 level, somewhere in and around there. I'll just maybe put some levels in here. We could see price want to dip down into here. It's quite a ways away. We're currently at 135.70. So I mean that's about 200 pips away. It may not want to come that deep on it, but ultimately we are looking for higher prices on this. I don't like it right now. Again, I'll just go down to the hourly. You can see here price has just been going straight sideways. Now, if you do want to trade a consolidating market like this, which I don't really like to do, if it's consolidating long term and on the higher time frame, for instance, like this here, then you've got a little bit more of a high probability of taking a trade and getting some profitable trades. So you would obviously, you would trade the market short up here at 133, wait for price to get up there, then you would trade short and you would look for 3100 basically. So you'd look for a quick 150, 200 pips and just keep doing that again until price broke through one of those levels. But price is really consolidating very, very tightly here, and as I've identified here, and you can see here, you're only talking about a 60 pip trading range. So if you want to trade in this consolidation, you certainly can. Don't let me stop you. I'm not taking any trades on it. I'm not going to put any signals out on this one to do this, but if you wanted to, you could probably take a short in here, 135.80, and look to exit at 62 pips at 135. I'd probably say 135.30 conservatively. I wouldn't even suggest holding that long. I'd just take 30 pips quick and get out if you did that. So that's kind of what price is doing here. Again, we do have some economic drivers, so you got to be careful on this one. We've got the GBP news coming out. That's actually on Wednesday's trading, so we may not see anything with this pair until Wednesday. Again, it could just keep going sideways, so it could just keep basically just doing this here until Wednesday's news event comes out, and then you could see either price wanting to do that or wanting to do this and come down into this area here that I had suggested. So don't know what's going to happen with this pair. Still a little bit early to tell, so we will watch for this guy here to develop and let you know. The US CAD, again, I discussed this a little bit earlier. I'm not going to go into this any more in detail. We had a bit of a news of this was the news driver for the week. You can see it was absolutely nothing. I mean, it was on this feed here is a 40 pip news driver, so it's pretty minimal, and then price has just been going straight sideways. So don't like a whole bunch on here. I'll just talk about some levels. As I said, this one trades in exact correlation to the US dollar index for the most part. If the dollar index is going down, the US CAD is going down. You can see that here in relation. So you can see this downward slide here in the past couple of weeks of trading. Same thing with this guy here. You can see the downward trend there. And so price just cleared out a major level here, a major support and resistance level right in here again. Everywhere you can see these areas of consolidation. They're fairly significant. I'll just drag this out here so you can see it. Price traded right through that level here. Took the liquidity, and now we're going to see if the price wants to continue lower. Looking into this 12200 level, or rebound and go higher from there, and then dump into it. Again, we have been fairly bearish on the US CAD pair. You can see here since pretty much the highs in 2016, 2 years ago, it's just been on a huge downward trend with a moderate retracement here and then another big downward trend. And I actually just want to do one thing just out of curiosity, just for study's sake. I want to look at something here. So that could be interesting. Typically there's price swings are typically symmetrical, so we could see price wanting to do what it did here as well, and that would bring us down to the 116.60 level. I mean, that's pretty far reaching, but it does actually line up with a couple of areas which are very interesting to me. So we could see price wanting to do this for the US CAD over the long term. And this could be, when I say long term, I mean this could be, you know, a year to do this. I mean, it took 4 months just to do this trading rate in here. So, you know, we'll see. And actually, I'm just going to zoom in on these monthly candles here and take the bodies instead of the wicks and see what this gives me. Yeah, that's interesting. Came out pretty much in the same, minus this wick right here, but we could see the body of this candle here. So I'll just zoom in, see the body of this monthly candle here. We could see this trade down to the 12200 level before this trend finishes and wants to go higher, because you can see long-term monthly it is a bullish outlook. And there's a nice trend line right there. Price hasn't broke that trend line. Until it breaks this trend line here, if it wants to go lower than this 12200, then I would even suggest this 1.1680 level. If price goes lower than that, then we'd be going from bearish to bullish long term. But that's quite interesting there. Go back into the weekly. You can see here, price could want to trade down to it, hit this trend line, and then resume higher. On the daily, you can see that we are bearish, obviously. So we'll see if this wants to continue down. Again, there are some economic news drivers for the CAD. Sorry, actually, that just came out on Monday. I don't think there are any. There's a little bit on Wednesday, a little bit on Thursday, but these are medium impact, so nothing too serious. It would be more the US dollar index that would drive this pair than the Canadian news events. So we'll see what happens. That level isn't too far away. We're only about 200 pips away from that, and that's easily a weekly range that you can get without a problem. So we could see that. So we'll wait and watch on this pair here. Right now, again, it's just straight sideways, and that's been the week. Nothing happening. So not too exciting on that pair, unfortunately. The other pairs I wanted to discuss, and if you haven't seen our weekly outlooks, our weekly analysis, make sure that you head over to f45trading.com. Again, we've got weekly analysis on several pairs and several commodities, gold, S&P 500, for instance, and US JAPI, or sorry, I would say US JAPI, US yen. We've got some analysis on that. The Euro GBP, some analysis. So navigate over to f45trading.com. Sign up for free. You can take a look at those videos. They're only 10-minute long videos. It gives you an outlook for the week ahead. Give you some levels that we're looking at. and give you some anticipation for the signals that are coming out, and you can see what's happening there. So you can check it out. I mean, at the very least, again, if you don't want to continue your service, that's fine. But you get a real good idea of how we trade over here and the signals that we put out, and some of our thoughts on it, all for free for 30 days. So you can check out those videos. And again, they're not very long. We upload them every week, either Sunday or Monday, and then we trade off of those for our signals for the rest of the week. So as I said, that was the couple of pairs and commodities that we look at. The last ones here I just want to discuss real quick. I want to take a look at copper, because I threw out some significant levels on copper. And again, you can go back to my videos that I've done in September for copper when I was calling the levels up here. You can see here, this is October, traded right up through these highs in September. I predicted that. And then price, I anticipated in, I guess this is October, trading back down to this consolidation level. It did exactly that. And look at the price, the reaction off of that. Just beautiful reaction. I called this high here, and price screamed through that. And now we're into a bit of a retracement. So it's interesting that, I mean, that played out perfectly to script. If you had taken this trade, and even taken some options on this trade or something like that, it would have netted a fairly significant return. But I just want to check something out here quickly while I'm looking at something, just out of curiosity for my own sake. Wow, that's pretty good. Price pretty much traded down to the equilibrium of this consolidation area. You can see here by this red line, that's about the halfway point between these wicks, plus or minus, obviously, because the wicks aren't going to be the exact same in every single provider that you use, every single broker. So again, it could be plus or minus 4 or 5 pips. But you can see here, price traded down right to the middle of that consolidation area and screamed off of that. So that's a great little indicator of what can happen when price trades to consolidating areas. So from here, we've taken these highs out. I would definitely not want to buy in anywhere in these areas. I would probably want to see price come back down to, I'll just pull some levels here real quick. I would suggest price would probably come back down somewhere to this level here. Big figure, the $3 mark. That would be a level that would interest me for a retracement. The 30, where are we here? About 3670-ish. 3670 level, that would be an area of interest for me for a retracement. And then the last level would be this old high here, coming down, bouncing off of this old high. And that comes in at 3164. You could even call it 3160. Yeah, 65, somewhere in and around here. And there's actually one other level that I kind of looking at here that sort of caught my eye. Again, I just want to take a real quick look at something here. 31, basically even. So this would be another level that would kind of interest me as well. If I can get that thing to... right about there. So those would kind of be the levels I'd be looking at for price to come down and then continue higher. I'm very bullish on this pair, on this commodity, as you can see. So it's going to take a significant price decline in order for me to change that. For instance, these lows here would have to be violated in order to change my stance on this and to go bearish, and in which case there could be some levels down here in these consolidation areas that I'd be interested in. But that's quite a ways away, and copper's been seeing a nice rip here. There's been some economic drivers, some fundamentals that have been pushing this thing higher. The demand's up, manufacturing and everything else. So do a little bit of research on it. I'm going to do a little bit of reading myself more on it this week here, but I definitely would not be buying from these levels. I would want to see a deep retracement come down here, and we all know the typical fib levels that we take. 50% retracement. I'm just line a couple things up here. Let's see where we're at. I'm taking the bodies of these. I don't really like the wicks all the time. But you can see here some levels do line up. We got into some 72% retracement levels in here, 79%, 50% retracement level right at this 3.100 level, $3.10, you know, $3.16. So we'll see what happens. We've got some options on this. That kind of interests me, but I definitely, like I say, don't want to buy it from here. I'd like to see price come down to here, or here, and then we'd be looking at higher prices from there. I also don't want to short from this level either, only because it could do this. You see how it hit this high here, it comes down, so all of a sudden you come down here, you short, and then oh, price screams back up, just to not take out this high and then come right back down. And so these areas, when it does that, you can tend to get stopped out, especially if price does this. Now if price comes in and it does this, that's great, that's easy. So you just sell the retracement, look for lower prices, and away you go. So we could look at doing that. For instance, could have sold this retracement right here. This was on last Friday. Last Friday's trading. You could have sold that one when it came back up to here, but you'd have to be watching it to see what's going on with it. So again, if price comes back up, does a retracement, we could look at some sells in here to go short, but overall I'm bullish, and I'd rather just wait for price to come down to one of these levels here, look for some buys, get in and ride it out long, because that's going to be the stronger move. You know, this would just kind of be scalping in here, really. So anyway, we'll watch that as that pans out, but I'm on record saying that I believe we will see higher prices after this retracement, and then we'll run higher. So and the last one I wanted to discuss here real quick, or sorry, two of them actually. I had outlined a trade for cocoa, which don't know if anybody got into it, and that was last Thursday's trading, which was the 4th right here. And I just actually want to break this down. I'm just going down to the 15-minute time frame just to get perspective here. This was Tuesday's trading. Let me just double check something here. Thursday. So I did a live session Wednesday, Thursday morning London. So we are Monday's trading, Friday's trading, Thursday's trading. So I did a live session right in sort of this time frame in here. I'll just turn on the day dividers. You know what? It probably would have been right in here actually, is where I did it. Somewhere in here, I think. And you can see what price had done. It came right down to that level that I identified, right in here, this 80-40 level, and bounced off of there. So thought that was quite interesting. But overall, I'm actually kind of bullish, short-term bullish on this commodity. I believe for the rest of the month and into February, middle of February, we will see some bullishness on this. And I've got this area right in here. I don't know if we're going to see the highs up in here at 22.17 taken out, but I definitely think that a level in here, and again, just sort of talking about these consolidation areas in here, the support and resistance areas, you can see what price is done in here. I'll just kind of zoom out. Oops. This is all I've got in my data feed, because this is just the particular contract that it's in. But you can see here, price traded up to the 22.20 level, rejected, traded back up, traded through, came back down to it, traded back up, through it, back down, pretty much stalled right on that level right here with these bodies. Over here you can see that, traded back up, came right back down to it again, traded back up, back down to it again, traded away, and then through it, consolidated again a couple times, and then back down to it. So I definitely think this area consolidation in here is going to be revisited again, and I think that's where price is going to push up to here. Again, short term. Rest of the month, rest of January, partway through February, I believe we will achieve 2020 on this commodity. So that's what I'm calling right now. But what we want to do, again, going back to the last Thursday, I didn't think price was going to get down there that quickly, but it just traded straight down there. It probably was about 2 or 3 hours after I did the video, and price slammed down into that CME open, traded back up, and we've been chopping sideways since. So don't want to take any trades right now. If price decided though to come back down to this guy, this candle right in here, or even, let's take out these data dividers here for a second. Get rid of this here, just clean this up just a little bit. If price even wanted to come down and trade down, you know what, let me just do this. Price wanted to come down and trade into this 1850 level right here, I might be interested in picking up some buys in there. So we could see this happen this week. So watch for this. You know, you could just watch price drop down. It's only about 50 pips away too, and then wanting to look higher. Now again, right? I mean, we'd be looking long term at this level here. But that price level, that interests me right down there at that 1850 level. So I'm going to be looking for that. I'll put it on record now. I'll put a signal out on our website with a few more details in here on that one. But that's kind of what I'm looking at for this cocoa trade here, which I thought was quite interesting that price did that again the other day. You can go back to that video that I watched, or that I did there last Thursday, London Open, and you can see what price had done there. Quite interesting. So anyway, that's cocoa. That interests me, this 1850 level. But I'll talk about that more again here in the free signal section of our website at f45trading.com. So you can get more details there. I'll post a couple of charts with some targets, levels, and everything else on that. Bitcoin is the last one that I wanted to discuss before, and we're going to wrap up here. We're just about an hour into this here. So pretty much perfect timing. I kind of wanted to keep all of these live sessions to about an hour. Any more than that, it just kind of drags out a little bit. And again, sorry guys, looking at the market, I don't want to put out any signals on this. Last week I put out an Aussie signal that, again, it didn't quite pan out. I was looking, I'm just trying to remember what the levels were. Let me just put my data dividers on here, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. I was looking for price ultimately to go higher, and price was trading right up in this level in here, and I said, if price trades down to, it was actually right here, 78.45, I think it was, 78.44, 78.45, that I'd be taking a long. Price did end up getting up there, but I put my stop in a little bit too tight. I put the stop in at 78.30. Price came down, I believe, 5 pips lower, 78.25. Stopped me out, and then ran higher. So you can see that how that worked out there. So it did. The trade did come out to fruition. However, it did not get to the level that I wanted. I was looking for about 50-60 pips, and at the very most, which happened on the Wednesday, it would only give me about 30 pips. So trade didn't quite pan out the way that I wanted it to, and that's sort of what you get with this type of trading at this time of year. Everyone's just kind of waking up back after holidays here and getting back into the market. So we're not going to see big movements in it for probably until next week. This Friday will probably be the trigger for next week's trading to really take off. So, but anyway, that was that trade that I gave out last week. So that's kind of why I'm going to hesitate on giving out any live signals and live trades on this session, just because of that. And really, I didn't see anything. We went through from the US dollar to the Euro-Usd. Could be something here potentially. Again, but I'm not real confident that that's going to pan out. Price could just go up straight up from here. So again, and you can see I mean, I did this about an hour ago. We were talking about this half an hour ago. You can see price really hasn't done anything. It's just going sideways, so not too much to trade there. It's not too exciting trading these chopping markets. It's almost like the Asian range looking at this in here. Now this could change, obviously. London Open is just starting right now. That's where we're pretty much at the start of it right now. So we could see this start to move, but yeah, I don't know. We could see this happen here. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about Bitcoin here real quick. And this is quite interesting. Price, I think I discussed this a little bit last Thursday. I wasn't calling price higher on this currency, on this cryptocurrency. And you can see here, price pushed up, put some levels in here. So you can see we are in a consolidating level right now. The high on this candle was 16,847. I'm just going to put that in here. 16, wow, there's a lot of numbers there. 16,847. So you can see here, that's pretty close to the high anyway. And 63. Yeah, we'll just keep it at even numbers. But you can see here, price traded up to that, and then straight rejection. Like, it's just been shopping in here. We're out of this nice uptrend here. Price came down. This would have been a great buy down in here if you could have got this off. You can see right off the high of that candle, you could have taken a long off of that. But this traded very, very rapidly. And I'll just see if I can't pull that up and show you here. Like, that's a very, very thin rejection candle. You can see that. So that literally took place, boom, in an instant, and then fired right back up. So I'm just going to see if I can, like, that was all of, you know, it took a couple hours to get it down there, hour and a half to get down there, and then 1, 2, 3 candles, and straight back up. So you really had no idea if it was just going to keep continuing lower, or if it was going to slam back up from there. And that's exactly what it did. Boom, slam back up, away you go. So very, very interesting. Anyway, in terms of this, I called a couple of levels last week that had my eye. Again, lower I think is going to happen before higher. I've got a gap in my data feed in this one as well too. This may not be in a lot of people's, so you just need to, and you know what a good one actually is, I'll just bring it up here real quick and you can kind of see. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just loading up a chart here. Okay. So I'll just see if I can't shrink this up a little bit here. So this is tradingview.com. I don't suggest you use these guys, or I don't suggest you know, anything with these guys, but this is just the Bitcoin against the US dollar. Same thing that we're trading here, Bitcoin, US dollar. So this is the price of Bitcoin. I'm just gonna I've got a little shrapnel on this side here. I wonder if I can get rid of this. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So you can see price, I'm calling at this 8,083 level ish. I mean, we could even say 8330, big figure. You can see down here 8330. That's the exact level in here that I'm looking at. So basically this consolidating range right in here. This one actually shows the candles coming up. This one has a gap. So it's just, again, you got to double check your feeds and make sure that you're getting the right information. Same though. I'm looking for price to come down to trade down to this consolidating level down here and then see a rebound from there. Still bullish on Bitcoin. I think, I mean, God, who knows? I mean, this thing could hit 50,000. There's people out there saying 100,000. It's seen a meteoric rise since early 2017. I mean, you can see 2017, that's October. I mean, this goes all the way back to August. Let me see if I can just scrunch this up a little bit more, do weekly candles. So here we are at the beginning of 2017, right here. What's price at? $1,000, right? And for it to go from $1,000 to almost 20,000, and that's huge. I mean, that is. I mean, we all know, we've all heard the stories, read the articles. I mean, millionaires get made by doing moves like that. But you can also become a millionaire by getting in on the retracements. So you can see here, price ran up, came down, retraced a bit, failed, and now we're coming back down again. I think these levels in here are going to be very, very significant. So we've got a consolidation level in here. I'll just flip back to a quick daily. We've got a consolidating level in here, which price trade down to earlier. And this was on the 23rd of December, rejected, came back up, rejected this high, failed, came back down, came back up, took the highs out, and I think all it was doing was coming up to get the guys who were going back long again. I'm sorry, short again. Basically just to take them out. And then now they're going to punish all the guys that are going long, and you can see here they're doing a good job of that by coming right back down. So I believe price is going to just keep floating down here, and then ultimately I'm calling, as I said, this 83.30 level in here, somewhere in this shaded region. I think we could see price trade right back down to. Wouldn't be surprised, and then we'll be looking at taking out some longs there. But again, pretty tough to trade this, right? I mean, price is quite volatile with cryptocurrencies and especially Bitcoin. You definitely want to know what you're doing. The trend is definitely going to be your friend on these guys. We've all heard that old cliche. But right now the trend is suggesting that, the short-term trend is suggesting that we're going to see lower prices. And I don't think I'd be looking at too many longs on this guy right now. I think right now, currently, I'd be surprised if this high gets taken out before it goes lower. I think this was actually the final drive to take out the liquidity here, and then they're going to dump price much, much lower. That's in my personal view. Just look at this. So we could see price, I kind of like this consolidation area here. We could see price wanting to trade up there. So I'll just maybe make a note on this here. Maybe the 1580, 1550, 1560 level. Oops. So I think what we could see is price do this, basically just come trade up to here, 1560, and then start screaming lower. So we'll watch for that. Again, I'm not interested in shorting Bitcoin just because of what we've seen here. I mean, look at this. Do you imagine trying to short this? Coming in here and, oh, okay, let's go short, and boom, they ram the market up. Okay, wait, it's going to go short, and boom, they ram the market up. Market looks like it's trending down. Okay, let's go short, and boom, they could ram the market back up again. So again, it's ugly trading in here. Unless price broke this low right here, I don't think I'd want to be taking shorts on it until it broke that low. And then even then, it would have to be a nice consolidate, or sorry, a nice trend. And then I'd want to see a retrace back up to this level here and then go short. And then we'd be looking for lows down here. And I accidentally deleted those, didn't I? 83.30. Somewhere in there I had it. Sorry guys. Technical difficulties. Let me just fix this up here quick. 83.30. And then there's a level right in here. 12,855, and then like I say, we could see price come up to here, 15,060, 600, and then could dump from there. So we'll see. Again, I don't want to trade any Bitcoin right now. We will be sending out tons of signals on this stuff once we start getting in confluence with the overall. But for now, we'll just kind of watch, monitor, study, and go from there. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for this evening. Really the only one that I'd be looking for, really the only one that I would be looking for would be this guy here, this euro. Looks like it could be wanting to fall out of bed right now and just start trending lower. So we'll see what happens when price basically gets down to these lows right here. If price wants to drop through it and then do just a real quick rejection and then trade higher, you got to watch for that. Or if sometimes it just trades straight through and it doesn't ever come back. Sometimes it'll trade through like this, and then it will want to come back up to here, and then it'll want to do this, and that's where you get into your entry. So we'll just look at that here right now. Let's see what that level is. So yeah, probably somewhere right around here. That's 1960 level. If price broke it, came back up, watch for that. And then if price does not have any willingness to go through, if it just kind of bumps into it, starts to trade lower, you get in, boom, short it. And then you'd be looking at this target right in here, as I mentioned earlier. I got it right here on 1880 would be the level that you'd be looking at, basically. For a short on the euro, short term, again, it's not going to go any lower than there. We're bullish overall, but I think for a quick scalp or whatever, that could be something that you want to look at. I think we could go down from here, but you got to watch, because price has bounced in here. Bounced once, bounced twice, bounced 3 times. Now it's coming back again. We do have a consolidation area in here. So the other level I would be very mindful of is sorry guys, sometimes the indicators overlap and you can't, or the indicators, oh, there it is there. Sometimes the lines and everything that you draw on here overlap and you can't grab the right thing. I apologize for that. But yeah, if price came down, what was I going with this here, to 119, I'd say 119.50, somewhere in there, we could see a rejection and then price run higher. So watch for that. This could be a fake out. What they like to do is fake people out. Price could come down, trade right into the consolidation area, boom, take out the stops. Everybody thinking that it's going to keep going short, runs them, guns it up higher, and then we're looking for higher price, and we're looking for prices to come up and target here. But it could also, like I say, do an entry, you know, like this, where it could come down, come back up, trade, bump back into the bottom, and then trade lower. So not sure what we're going to see on the Euro-Usd. Again, trade at your own risk right now. We're still technically in holiday trading. Not really loving everything. Higher time frame, bullish. Short-term time frame, bearish. And when I say short-term, could be after today. This London session could be creating the low of the week, and then we could be trading higher. But conversely, Monday could have done that as well. It could have created the high of the week, and then we could be trading lower and looking at Friday Thursday setting the low of the week. So we don't know for sure what's going to happen there. So we'll watch this, keep that in mind, and go from there. If I see anything that I like, I'll put a signal out on the website. Sorry guys, just grabbing all sorts of levels here. 50. Come on. There it is. So again, if you could, please, everybody, jump over to f45trading.com. You can sign up for free. You can take a look at all of our signals, up to the date, to the minute. We get instant notifications right to your phone on trade updates, signal updates, changes to signals that we've put out, and all that kind of stuff. So it's all live, up to the minute, moving, and we have 3 analysts that work with us to put out the signals. So there's traders on the West Coast, on the East Coast of North America, and in the UK. So we've pretty much got coverage around the clock for our markets, which is something that most traders and most signal services do not have and don't have access to. So just keep that in mind when you're out there and you're looking and you're wondering who's good and what's everybody doing. You know, our traders that we've got working with us, we've got combined experience over 50 years trading the markets. Everything from bonds to stocks to forex to commodities. So we've got a lot of bases covered there, and we've been very, very profitable. We started back in September, and since then, if you follow us on Instagram, then you can see our running total. I mean, we're in September, October, November. We've done well over 1,000 pips in those months, and sorry, I apologize. That's not right. I think the total count was 850, so just shy in that short time period. But you get the point. We're very, very profitable, and we'll continue to be profitable for that reason, because we've got several analysts looking at the market, several ideas. You get fresh eyes on it, and it's just a winning combination of the way we trade. So we do not trade the way a lot of other people trade out there, so be very, very mindful of that. We don't trade with any indicators. You don't see any other than a fib level on here every now and then. We don't trade with MACDs or anything like that, because we find that they just do not work. They're very, very late indicators. Oscillators and RSIs and Williams percent Rs and the whole bit. We don't use those because oftentimes we find that they do not work, and so we trade purely off of price action, and we find that that is the best indicator. What is price going to do? Trade price action. That's the easiest way to find it. So anyway, the last thing I'll leave you with is just zip over. So you can see here is our social media page, Future 45 Trade Signals on Instagram. If you want to follow us there. On Twitter, we are at F45 Trading. I'll just pull that up here right now for you so you can see. F45 at F45 Trading on Twitter. So you can follow us on Twitter and on YouTube. You can just do a search for F45 Trade Signals on YouTube. So we're all over. I mean, we're Facebook, we're Twitter and Instagram and YouTube. So you can find us on numerous platforms. Very quite simply though, all you need to do is just navigate over to f45trading.com. Plug that into your browser, click on it, sign up for free for 30 days, and you can get all of our signals on there. So that's going to wrap up our session. We were just a little over an hour, so if you've made it with us this far, I really appreciate your time. We're going to be doing live sessions every Tuesday and every Thursday of every single week for the rest of 2018. It's not always going to be myself. Sometimes we're going to have one of my analysts jump on from another location, and we could even be doing different times as well too. Maybe we'll start trading the New York session one day a week, but right now we'll do both London sessions at the time. We'll start at midnight New York time, and we'll run our live sessions from there. And you can pretty much expect a little more of the same. Hopefully, a little more trading into the next one as market picks up. The market picks up. But we'll wait and watch to see as that develops. Again, this week it was a little bit slow, so I'm a little bit hesitant to put anything out, and you know why on that one. But anyway, thank you again for your time, and we will talk to you again this Thursday. Remember to sign up to f45trading.com, and when we start putting out signals for the week, you will be able to get those. Thanks again, guys. We'll talk to you then.